The colony of Veralia hung at the edge of a star system, small and quiet compared to the bustling core worlds of the galaxy. Its blue-green oceans and silver cities had always seemed peaceful, but peace had a fragile heartbeat in the galaxy. Now, that heartbeat was pounding faster, louder. As alien ships darkened the sky, Commander Rilla stood on the observation deck of the main station, her sharp eyes scanning the horizon. The alien fleet had come suddenly, swift and overwhelming, leaving no time for evacuation. Thousands of ships, black and glinting, hovered in formation above Verelia's cities. Their presence alone was enough to strike fear into the hearts of anyone who saw them. The colony's modest fleet had tried to resist, but had been crushed before it even reached orbit. Rilla's hands tightened on the rail. The colony's sensors showed the aliens were preparing for an assault. And the communications tower carried a single, chilling message. Surrender or be destroyed. No one will save you, she clenched her jaw. No one will decide our fate for us, she muttered. Her voice carried more to herself than anyone else, but it was enough to steel her nerves. Around her, officers and technicians worked feverishly, their movements sharp and precise. They were scared, yes, but fear had a way of sharpening focus. The citizens of Verelia scrambled below. Families carried what they could to underground shelters. Children clung to parents, wide-eyed, as warning sirens blared. Soldiers ran along the streets, erecting barricades and preparing defensive turrets. Even in the face of almost certain defeat, life carried on with determined urgency. Rilla tapped a button on the control panel, activating the colony's emergency broadcast. The signal echoed through the city, reaching every home. Her voice was calm but firm. People of Verelia, our colony faces a grave threat. We have fought bravely, but the enemy is strong. Help is not coming. Our fleet is lost. Yet we will not surrender. We will protect our homes, our families, and each other. Stand ready. Fight with courage. In the streets, her words were met with murmurs, some fearful, some determined. A small group of soldiers raised their fists in salute. Even in the shadow of death, the spirit of humanity showed itself unyielding and bright. The aliens did not wait long. Their ships began to descend into the upper atmosphere, cutting through clouds like black knives. Massive energy cannons charged, glowing with ominous light. From the observation deck, Rilla could see them target the colony's main power grid. The first blast struck with a deafening roar, sending shockwaves through the ground. Towers collapsed, fires erupted, and panic rippled through the streets. Rilla did not flinch. She gave orders quickly, decisively. Activate the defense turrets. Deploy the emergency shields. Civilian evacuation teams, move now. Explosions rocked the colony as the turrets fired back, streaks of blue energy cutting toward the alien ships. Some found their targets, causing small bursts of fire. But for every alien vessel destroyed, 3 more took its place. The defenders were skilled, but the aliens had overwhelming numbers and advanced technology. In a smaller city district, Lieutenant Mara ran through rubble-strewn streets, guiding civilians to the nearest shelter. Her heart pounded. A mother with 2 children stumbled beside her, frightened but clinging tightly. "We can't let them take us," Mara whispered. Her own fear was sharp, but determination drove her forward. They reached the shelter just as another blast shook the city, doors rattling under the force. People rushed inside, some sobbing, some silent, all grateful to reach even a moment of safety. Back on the observation deck, Rilla studied the enemy. The alien ships were enormous, angular, unlike any design she had ever seen. Their movement was coordinated, precise, almost machine-like. Every maneuver seemed calculated to crush hope, and yet in Rilla's heart she felt a spark of defiance. Humanity had faced impossible odds before and had survived. A communication channel opened unexpectedly, not from the aliens, but from within the colony. One of the field engineers, a young man named Kiro, spoke urgently. "Commander, we've got one last reservant experimental shield grid. It could hold them off for a few hours, maybe longer if we divert all power to it." Rilla's mind worked quickly. "Do it. Every unit. Every reserve. We will hold them, no matter what. The engineers scrambled, rerouting energy through the fragile grid. Lights flickered across the station as power surged to the protective shields surrounding the colony. The first alien blast that hit the shield crackled, but did not penetrate. Cheers erupted from the observation deck and below in the city's streets. For the first time, hope flickered through the chaos. Hours passed. The aliens adjusted, firing in patterns meant to overwhelm the shield. Rila gave orders, moving from one station to another, coordinating defenses, directing evacuation teams, and monitoring the civilians. Exhaustion clawed at her, but she pushed on. Every human under her command felt her resolve. Their courage grew stronger. As night fell over Veralia, the city glowed with fires and explosions. The alien fleet had yet to break the shield, but the colony's resources were dwindling. Rilla gathered her senior officers in the command room. "We cannot hold out forever," she said honestly. "The aliens are too many, but we will not go quietly. Every moment we survive is a victory." Lieutenant Mara, still in her uniform from the field, nodded. "We fight, Commander. We protect as long as we can." Even the youngest officer, barely 19, spoke up. "Then let's make them regret coming here." Rilla smiled faintly, feeling the weight of leadership but also the strength of those around her. Fear was present, yes, but it had been transformed into something sharper. Determination. They might be outnumbered, but they were not without spirit. The night deepened. Explosions continued, shaking buildings and rattling nerves. Civilians huddled in shelters, listening to the distant hum of energy weapons and the terrifying roar of alien engines. Yet amid the chaos, Rilla's voice came over emergency channels, a steady anchor. "Hold fast. We survive together." And then, something unusual appeared in the sky. Far in the distance, faint points of light flickered, moving with precision unlike any natural phenomenon. Sensors picked them up ships, yes, but advanced, unmistakably human in design. Far beyond the colony's modest fleet, Rilla froze. Could it be? No fleet from Earth had ever reached this far. Legend spoke of hidden warships, prototypes built in secret for decades, but none had been deployed. The fleet on her sensors moved with coordinated precision. Closing on the alien armada, her officers stared at her, disbelief and hope mingling in their expressions. "Commander, could this be help?" Rilla's voice was calm, though her heart raced. "If it is, we are no longer alone. Hold your positions, everyone. The fight is not over yet." The aliens, noticing the approaching ships, halted briefly. Their commanders transmitted signals, seemingly confused by the new arrivals. This was unexpected. Uncertainty flickered in the otherwise confident alien formation. Below, civilians and soldiers paused, eyes turned skyward. Rumors of human ingenuity, of Earth's secret warships, had always existed in distant tales, but now they were real. A spark of hope ignited in hearts long weighed down by fear. Rilla knew the coming hours would be critical. They might still face overwhelming odds, but the balance had shifted. Humanity's reputation for courage, resilience, and ingenuity was about to be proven once more. She took a deep breath and whispered, more to herself than anyone else, "Earth has come. Let them see what humans can do." Above Varelia, the distant lights of the approaching fleet grew brighter, moving with unwavering purpose toward the beleaguered colony. The first part of the battle was over, but a new chapter was about to begin. Hope, long thought lost, had returned in a form that the galaxy had never expected. And somewhere deep in space, among the dark and silent stars, the aliens realized that their opponents were unlike any they had ever faced. The fight for Varelia was not merely survival, it was the first glimpse of a force the galaxy would soon come to respect. Fear, and perhaps never underestimate again, the last stand had begun. But now, help was coming. The lights in the distance grew steadily larger, shining like stars moving against the black canvas of space. On the observation deck of Varelia's command station, Commander Rilla squinted at the approaching shapes. These ships were massive, sleek, and unlike anything she had ever seen. Their hulls shimmered silver blue, reflecting the distant sun. and energy pulses traced along their edges, signaling power that could rival the alien armada. Lieutenant Mara leaned close to Rilla, her voice tight with disbelief. They're human. They're coming for us? Rilla's jaw tightened. It seems so. Keep your eyes open. Don't let hope cloud judgment. Don't know their strength yet. The aliens reacted first. Their ships shifted, sending a clear warning signal to the approaching fleet. A massive alien flagship, larger than most of the others, surged forward with glowing energy cannons, ready to strike. It was a show of power, intended to intimidate and crush hope before it could spread. Captain Darius. Aboard the lead human warship, the Valiant observed the alien formation calmly. His fleet was small compared to the aliens, but every ship was a masterpiece of engineering, equipped with the latest human technology. Advanced shields, rapid-fire energy weapons, and AI-assisted targeting systems made them more agile and deadly than anything the aliens had faced. Darius's voice came through that comes to his fleet, clear and confident. Formation Delta. Focus on the alien vanguard. Protect the colony. Show them why humanity never surrenders. The human ships moved in perfect synchronization.
One vessel
darted close to the alien flagship, drawing fire, while the others targeted smaller alien ships. The alien cannons fired, powerful beams of energy cutting through the darkness, but the humans were faster. Shields absorbed the hits, and counterfire struck back, shattering enemy vessels with precision below on Varelia. Civilians watched the sky with wide eyes. Energy beams streaked across space, explosions lighting the black void. For the first time in days, fear mixed with wonder. Children pointed, whispering to each other. Earth came. Earth came to save us. Rilla's fingers flew over the console. Prepare orbital turrets. Support the humans wherever you can. This is our chance. The alien fleet faltered. Their formations were strong, but the human ships moved unpredictably, striking from angles the aliens had not anticipated. They were forced to retreat slightly, trying to regroup. Darius had studied alien tactics for months, and he knew exactly how to exploit their weaknesses. Divert all secondary weapons to the flanks, Darius ordered. We need to split their attention. On one side of the battle, the human ship. Defiant swooped low, dodging between alien vessels, firing rapid pulses that disabled several smaller ships. The aliens tried to respond, but their coordination faltered. Human ingenuity combined with bravery was turning the tide. Meanwhile, in the colony streets, Mara led a squad of soldiers to protect civilians. Small skirmishes erupted as alien landing pods descended, attempting to breach the city. The humans in orbit countered by targeting the pods with precise strikes, stopping many before they reached the ground. One pod crashed near a city block, sending debris flying, but the squad was ready. Mara ordered a controlled retreat, guiding civilians to safety while the humans in orbit neutralized the alien threat. Every action on the ground and in space was synchronized, creating a dance of defense and counterattack that surprised the invaders. On the observation deck, Rilla couldn't hide her. They're incredible, she whispered. They move like a single mind, but each one has courage. This is humanity at its best. Darius, aware of the colony's eyes on him, transmitted a message through secure channels. People of Varelia, your defenders have held strong. We are here to ensure your safety. Stay calm. Trust in your courage and in ours. Together, we can push them back. The alien flagship reacted aggressively, charging its largest energy cannon. A massive beam fired toward the colony, threatening to destroy the central power grid. Rilla's heart leaped. Shields. Divert maximum power, she shouted. The shield grid flickered and strained under the immense energy, but held. The beam collided with the barrier, and a shower of sparks and crackling energy lit the sky. The humans in orbit targeted the flagship's weapon systems simultaneously. Beams of energy struck the cannon arrays, disabling them just as the shield held. Darius's voice comes with a calm but sharp tone. Focus fire on the flagship's engines. We want them grounded and confused. Explosions rocked the alien flagship as multiple human ships struck it simultaneously. It faltered in space, losing balance, forcing the rest of the alien fleet to reconsider their attack. Confusion spread among the invaders, a rare sight for an empire used to obedience and precision. On the streets below, Rila watched as alien forces retreated from some areas, no longer able to land safely. Civilians cheered, their hope rekindled. Soldiers raised their weapons, pushing forward with renewed strength. Even those who had feared the end now felt the spark of possibility. But the battle was far from over. From beyond the horizon, another threat appeared, a colossal alien warship, larger than the flagship and heavily armed. Its arrival sent a shiver through the colony and even among the human fleet. The smaller battles seemed trivial compared to this new danger. Daria saw it as well. All ships form a perimeter, keep the colony safe, cannot let this one through. The colossal ship advanced steadily, its massive weapons ready to obliterate anything in its path. The human fleet responded with everything they had. Beams of energy streaked through space, missiles launched, evasive maneuvers executed. Still, the alien ship's hull absorbed the attacks, barely slowing it down. Rilla's heart sank slightly. This is beyond anything we've faced. Darius's calm voice broke through the tension. Then we will do what humanity always does. We find a way. Focus on their weak points. Exploit what they cannot see coming. In orbit, the humans devised a daring plan. Smaller ships would act as decoys, drawing fire and attention, while a few specialized vessels, using advanced stealth and precision, targeting, would strike the vulnerable engine nodes of the colossal ship. The plan was risky, and failure could mean disaster. Yet no hesitation was allowed. Courage and skill guided each move. Mara, watching from the colony, saw the human ships dart and weave, almost like dancers in a deadly performance. Their coordination was flawless. One of the decoy ships moved too close to the alien vessel and was struck, exploding in a brilliant flash. The other ships pressed on, using the distraction to target engine nodes. Sparks and small explosions marked their hits. The massive ship lurched, its trajectory shifting. Confusion spread through the alien command. Below, Rilla and her officers shouted orders, taking advantage of the distraction to reinforce turrets and secure civilians. The alien ground forces began to retreat in some areas, unsure if their larger support would survive. Mara's squad moved swiftly through streets, evacuating more people while maintaining control. Keep moving, she urged. Help is here, and we're not giving up. The colossal ship continued to falter under the precise attacks of the human fleet. Finally, a well-coordinated strike disabled its main engines, forcing it to drift uncontrollably. The alien fleet, seeing their greatest asset neutralized, began a strategic retreat. Rilla felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The colony was not free yet, but hope was alive. Humanity had arrived, and with them came the strength and courage that the aliens had never expected. Darius's voice returned over the coms, calm and confident. The first wave is held. We will continue to secure your planet. Your defenders have fought well. Together, we will ensure victory. Below, civilians cheered. Soldiers raised their weapons in salute. Even those who had been terrified days ago now felt pride swelling in their hearts. The courage of humans both from Earth and from Veralia had changed the tide. Rila allowed herself a small smile. They weren't alone after all, she whispered. We were never truly alone. As night fell over the battlefield, the human fleet maintained vigilance, patrolling space above the colony, ready for any renewed attack. The alien forces had been repelled for now, but the final challenge, the full strength of the enemy, still loomed somewhere in the darkness. Yet, the people of Aurelia no longer felt helpless. They had seen what humanity could achieve when courage, intelligence, and unity combined. They had seen legends become reality. Above them, the distant lights of the human fleet shone like a promise. They would not abandon the helpless. The battle was far from over. But one thing was clear. The galaxy was beginning to understand that humans were not a race to underestimate. And for the first time in many days, the people of Veralia allowed themselves to hope. The colony of Veralia was quiet now, but the silence was tense. Fires from earlier battles still smoldered in some districts. and the city's people moved cautiously, guided by soldiers and volunteers. Above, in orbit, the human fleet remained vigilant. Watching for any sign that the alien forces might return, Commander Rilla stood on the observation deck. Looking at the calm yet wary faces of her officers, Lieutenant Mara approached, carrying reports from the streets. "Commander, civilians are stabilizing. No more pods have landed, and casualties are being tended to. But the main threat, that colossal alien ship, is still out there. It hasn't left the system." Riala nodded. "We've seen what our people can do, and what the humans from Earth can do. But that ship, it is unlike anything we've faced. If it attacks the colony again, it could destroy us in minutes." She paused, her eyes scanning the stars. "We need a plan. We can't just wait for it to strike again." Far above, Captain Darius aboard the Valiant studied the massive alien vessel. It drifted near the outer edges of the colony's orbit, its engines damaged but its weapon system still functional. The ship was powerful and resilient, but it had one weakness. It could not maneuver easily, and its shields were concentrated around its main hull, leaving its engines vulnerable. Darius turned to his officers. "We have one chance to end this. We cannot risk the colony any longer. The humans under my command will strike at the engine core. Once it is disabled, the rest of their fleet will have no choice but to retreat." Lieutenant Kara, his tactical officer, frowned. "It's a dangerous maneuver, Captain. Even one hit on our ships could destroy them." Araya smiled faintly. "Humanity has always faced the impossible and won. Trust your training. Trust each other. This is our moment." In orbit, smaller ships began to form a protective perimeter, acting as decoys. Their movements drew fire from the alien ship, which unleashed massive energy beams that tore through space where the decoys had been moments before. The plan was working. The colossal ship was reacting. But it could not track all targets at once. Rilla watched from the command station, her heart pounding. On the city streets, Mara and her squad prepared to evacuate the remaining civilians from vulnerable areas, moving quickly and efficiently. "Keep everyone moving. Every life matters," she shouted. The first strike team of human ships, using advanced stealth technology, moved toward the alien ship's engines. They were small but fast, darting through fire and debris. Explosions from alien weapons lit the void, but the humans pressed on, calculating every movement to avoid destruction. "Almost there," whispered one pilot over, comes her voice steady, despite the danger. "Engines in sight." With precise coordination, the strike team fired a series of energy pulses at the alien ship's engine nodes. Sparks flew as the engines shuddered, struggling under the concentrated attack. The colossal vessel lurched violently, tilting in space. Alien crews scrambled to stabilize it, but the damage was done. "Engines disabled," shouted one human pilot, relief and exhilaration in his voice. "They can't move." The alien flagship's weapons fired one last barrage. But with their movement restricted, every attack missed its target or was absorbed by shields. The remaining alien fleet, seeing their most powerful asset crippled, began to retreat, confusion spreading among them. Their disciplined formations broke apart, and smaller ships fled to avoid destruction. On Virelia, Rella exhaled deeply. She had been tense, worried for her people and for the fleet. Now, hope swelled in her chest. Mara's squad cheered, guiding civilians to safety as the threat diminished. The streets, once filled with panic, echoed with cheers and relief. Darius transmitted a message to the colony. "The alien assault has been repelled. Your courage and resilience allowed this fleet to succeed. Humanity stands with you, and together we will ensure your safety." The people of Virelia erupted in applause, tears streaming down faces young and old. They had survived. They had seen the might of human ingenuity and courage firsthand. For the first time, many truly understood why Earth's fleet was called the fiercest in the galaxy. Rila turned to her officers. "This victory is not only theirs, it is ours as well. Every soldier, every engineer, every civilian who helped, they all made this possible. Humanity does not fight alone, and neither did we." Mara stepped forward, her uniform dusty from the city's debris. "Commander, the colony is secure for now, but what about the rest of the galaxy? If these aliens can reach us, other worlds may face the same threat." Rilla's eyes hardened with resolve. "Then we show them what humans can do." Today, Varelia was saved. Tomorrow, we ensure no colony ever faces terror alone again. We have allies now, and together, we are unstoppable. Above the planet, the human fleet maintained a vigilant orbit, scanning for any lingering threats. Their ships moved with precision, protecting the colony as repairs began on orbital stations and city defenses. Even the most skeptical citizens could not deny the feeling of safety that now filled their hearts. Darius addressed his fleet. Calm and commanding. "We have demonstrated what humanity is capable of. But vigilance is never optional. Continue to patrol. Protect those who cannot protect themselves. This is our duty." As night fell over Varelia, the once threatened colony now looked like a beacon of hope. Fires had been extinguished, wounded were treated, and people cautiously returned to their daily routines. Children laughed, soldiers smiled, and citizens whispered stories of bravery and courage that would be told for generations. In the distance, the crippled alien ships retreated toward the edges of the star system. Their empire had been shown that humanity was not to be underestimated. Even in the darkest hour, when help seemed impossible, humans had arrived and turned the tide. Rilla stood on the observation deck, looking at the stars where the battle had raged. "They came for us," she said softly. "They didn't hesitate. They didn't falter. Humans never do." Mara joined her, gazing at the distant human fleet. "They didn't just save us. They reminded us that courage and determination can change the course of any battle." Rilla smiled. "And now we pay it forward. Varelia will stand as a symbol, a reminder to the galaxy that no one faces the impossible alone when humans are involved." Darius, aboard the Valiant, looked down at Varelia and spoke to his crew. "Remember this day. Remember why we fight, why we protect. Humanity is more than just a species. It is a force. And wherever darkness rises, we will be there to shine a light." The alien commanders, observing from the shadows of space, recorded the defeat with grim calculations. They had faced a power they could not predict, an intelligence and bravery unlike any they had seen. Humankind had changed the rules of engagement with courage, strategy, and unity. Back on Varelia, as the citizens began rebuilding, a young child pointed to the stars. "Will they come back?" she asked her mother. Her mother smiled, squeezing the child's hand. "Even if they do, we now know that help will come. Humans do not leave those in need behind." Rilla and Mara walked through the streets, observing the cautious celebrations. People hugged, laughed, and shared stories. The sense of relief was overwhelming, yet tempered by the knowledge that the galaxy was vast and full of challenges. But today, Varelia had survived. Today, humanity had triumphed. Above, the human fleet slowly began its departure, leaving behind patrol ships to maintain security. As they disappeared into the stars, their presence lingered, not just in orbit, but in the hearts and minds of every person who had witnessed their courage. Rilla looked up at the sky one last time. "We faced the impossible. We survived, and the galaxy will never forget it." The colony of Varelia had endured. The aliens had learned that humans were not to be underestimated, and the people, once on the brink of despair, now carried a renewed sense of hope, courage, and pride. Humanity had arrived, and it had made its mark. For the first time in many days, Commander Rilla allowed herself to relax. She knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was wide, and danger still awaited. But humans had shown their strength. And wherever courage and intelligence were needed, they would always be ready. The stars over Varelia shone brightly, reflecting the promise of humanity, a promise that no threat was too great, and no darkness too deep. Hope had returned. Courage had triumphed. Humanity had proven once again why the galaxy would never forget Earth's fiercest fleet.